Alright, so here we are on to the video for building a fender for the 17 to 22 to fit on the 99 to 07 Super Duties. So this is a 17 to 22 fender, they're all the same, it's aluminum, and this is your lower fender, 99 to 07, the one that's already on your truck, that's steel. So in this video we're going to show you how to remove these tan sections off of each fender, how to take the top section of this 17 to 22 fender, which is aluminum, and how to 3M bond it onto the fender you already have on your vehicle now. So let's jump into this video and show you how to make one fender out of two. Step one of making one fender out of two. In your kit, you are going to receive two templates. This is the template for the 99 to 07 fender, and this is the template for the 17 to 22 fender. What you are going to do is you're going to cut out the gray areas on both of these, so you just have this white single section here on that fender and this single section here for the 17 to 22 fender. So you're going to trim these up so you are left with just these two small white areas here. Okay, so here is the driver's side 17 to 22 front fender. We're going to start showing you how to place the template in this area that I have the silver lines on. So don't make it harder than it is. It's actually very simple. So just follow this and we'll show you exactly what to do. So very simple. Here's the flat spot on the fender here. You're going to go straight up to the headlight area. You're going to take your template. Very simple. You're going to take where the arrow is and you're going to place it right in this corner of the wheel well. See where the wheel well line comes down? Right there in that corner, you're going to place that arrow. Very simple. When you do that, the bottom is going to be straight against the bottom. And this area here where the wheel well is, this is where your line of the template will sit. So you stick that arrow into that corner. Make sure the line is flat on the bottom. And you're carrying your wheel well up. And when you come over here, you'll see right in this area here that it follows the contour of the headlight. That's it. It's that simple. Place the arrow into this corner, make sure the bottom's straight and it follows the wheel well here and follows the headlight there. That is it. All you do at this point is you come in with your marker, a line, tape, whatever you want to do, and you draw a line along the template. From here to the point and across. To the point and back up. That's it. Draw that line so you have the front of this tan section drawn out so it looks exactly like this. You don't have to be specific, it just has to be very close. And this is what you're going to end up with. You're saving all of this. Everything in black is what you're going to save. Now that you traced out your area in the front of your fender, it's going to stop right there. You're going to come to the back of the fender. All you have to do with a tape measure is from the very top of the fender here. The very top of the fender down to this line is 8 inches. So all you need to do is take a tape measure, hook it on the top of the fender, pull it down, and you'll see that it's 8 inches on the nose. And then you draw a line there. So you'll simply have a line back here. Top of the fender, hook your tape measure, come down to 8 inches, make a mark. So now you place your template on there. You have a line. All you're going to have is a line going straight across here and up to that point. And on the back side of the fender, you are going to, from the top of that fender down, you're going to have a mark at 8 inches. All you simply do is take some kind of a straight line and connect the two dots. Paint marker, crayon, I don't care what you use. You can use tape, whatever you want. So you draw a line. So from the very top of the fender down 8 inches, straight across to where our template was. And these silver lines, again, is pretty much exactly where our template was. Then all you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to cut that line up, cut it back, and then straight across. And everything in the black, the very top of the fender, you're going to keep. All of this that's in the gray, the tan area here, you're going to discard and you're not going to use. So let's trim this one up so we can show you exactly what you end up with. Now that you have your aluminum fender cut, the only thing that's holding on is a little bit of foam right here in this back corner onto this rear bracket. So you can take a screwdriver, you can twist this, and then you can roll the screwdriver back and forth. See right there? The little bit of foam, that's all that holds it on. And now you can take your entire front piece of fender off in one piece, leaving the rear bracket completely on. This complete rear bracket. Leave that all in place with your lower mounts. So now you can see this was your fender, and after we cut it going straight across, it's now in two pieces. This is the only part you need, is this upper part here. It's the only piece you need. So you can see this whole lower section here, we don't need this anymore, so you just place that aside. You don't need it. All you're going to need is this section here. So where we are again, from the very back of the fender, this is right where the door goes. In the back of the fender, from here down is 8 inches. So that's 8 inches from the top to the bottom line where we're going to cut. And then you follow that straight across to this area here where we had our template. So this silver marked area here, this is where we placed our template onto the front end of the fender. This is the line we drew, and this is the line we cut. So you can see this is the area where your headlight goes. All the way down. That's the bottom of your fender, still has the tab on it. And then on the back side of the fender, we still have our complete bracing in here. So I'm moving it around so you can catch it in different light and see exactly what's going on. But you can see there's a bend in this bracket right here, and this is the rear support. This right here is your headlight mount. So you'll see this little triangle hole. Let's move it this way. There. Right here. There's a plastic clip that goes in there. And that's where your headlight clips into. So later on when we're doing the install, when I say you clip your headlight, it's this one right here. So that's right where the headlight, this is the outside of the fender on this side, and you can see that clear as day. That's going to be where your headlight clips. So that's why you leave the inner piece on, and it was that simple. All you're cutting is the outer structure, and then peeling off this little bit of glue that's holding it to that back support bracket. That's that little piece of glue. And then push this fender, put this aside, put it in the back of the truck, whatever you want with it. Do this to both fenders. And the template, once you cut the paper template out, so you can see right where our paper template was, right where we cut it. Now simply once you do that, and this is the driver's side is done, you flip the template over and do the same thing on the other fender. So you do the driver and the passenger fender, so you're holding two pieces just like this. So you can see the very end of your fender, from the back side of the fender where it would be at the door, forward 2.5 inches is one line. From the very back of the fender at the door, forward is 2 3/4. Simply draw a line from one to the other and chop this area off. Okay, so once you have your fender trimmed like this, the next step of trimming, and pretty much the last step until final fitment, is on the very end over by the door. So you can see at the very end, the very back of the fender, I got some numbers here. So we're going to show you up close at the very back of the fender. You're going to measure 2.5 inches and make a mark. And at the very top, you're going to measure 2 3/4 and make a mark. So you can see the very end of your fender, from the back side of the fender where it would be at the door, forward 2.5 inches is one line. From the very back of the fender at the door, forward is 2 3/4. Simply draw a line from one to the other and chop this area off. And there, just like that, you take this very end chunk off of the rear fender, and now you are left with just the fender itself. All right, so now on to the portion where we're going to trim the factory steel fenders. The easiest way I found to do this is just rehang it back on the truck. You don't have to line anything up, you don't have to shim anything, you just put a couple of bolts in the bottom down there and a couple across the top just to hold it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to trim off this area in tan here and this upper area on the top, showing you once those are trimmed, we will take the black aluminum fender and you simply place it on top, and that's how easy it is to make a fender. So don't overthink this. It's not that big of a deal. It's simple metal trimming and so on. It's not that big of a deal, and if you can't do it, any body shop can. So this is going to be just like the other fender. You're going to cut out your template. This one is obviously for the 99 to 07 fender. All you're going to do is the same thing you did last time. On the bottom, you're going to find our arrow. We have an arrow. The arrow is going to point at the corner, again, just like on the other fender. So where you have the flat fender and the wheel well starts to roll up, right there in that corner is where the arrow is going to go. So this is self-explanatory again. The bottom of the template is going to be along the bottom of the fender. Where the wheel well goes up, that's where the wheel well is going to start to go up again. And in that corner is where the arrow is. Simply put a piece of tape there. And this line right here will go straight up, and then it'll roll over to the top of the fender, where you could just put another piece of tape. It's that simple. All you do is you come in here now and you trace this. We put a mark, a marker, a paint pen, a Crayola crayon. I really don't care what you use. You could tape all this off just like I did, whatever you want to do. But mark this off, and you're going to trim this front tan section. And then this is the beginning of the top of the other one. You could see where the line goes. So it comes around the front and all the way straight back. So we're going to show you where to stop over there. The arrow on the template is pointing at that corner piece in your fender. And this is what it looks like when it's on the truck. To the very top of the fender. We are going to remove everything that's in tan tape there. So the only thing we're doing, this is so we can line up our front fender during the install. That's the only reason we're leaving this tab. So we're going to leave this tab with that one bolt in it that holds the front of the fender. Everything else in here is all getting chopped out. The template comes down right here and it'll stop. Then you just draw a line straight back to about that distance there, and we're going to leave this little tab on the end here. We're going to leave this. So if you look, we are 1 inch above our body line all the way down. So we got this flat spot right here. This is where we're going to 3M bond the two fenders together on this flat strip right here. You can rivet it, flat, bond it, whatever you want to do. So that's what we're going to end up taking off on the top of the fender, is right around that area, straight back. And we're going to leave this area here so our door jamb stays exactly the same. Okay, let's get our measurements for this little piece right here. And I drew in a line on the body line so you can see exactly where we are. Just take it easy, follow it nice and slow. This is simple. From this door jamb right here, forward 1.5 inches. From this door jamb right here, forward 1.5 inches. Just draw a line from there to there. That's it. We're leaving this piece on. And you can see on the silver marker, I drew in where the body line is. I drew on the fender the body line. You can see above this line, 1 inch. So this is all 1 inch from here to here. From here to here, it's all 1 inch. But that's exactly where the template is. The template allows it to be at 1 inch. So once you have the template with the arrow into the corner of that wheel well, taped on just like that, simply take a marker, draw on the front and down, draw the very top right here, just draw this area here, then come back here, make a mark 1.5 inches forward, a mark 1.5 inches forward, that's anywhere in here, then draw a line straight up and down, and then just connect from the template 1 inch high here. 1 inch above the body line. That's it. So from that template straight until you touch that area. Then that tan area we're going to remove, and then the tan area in the front we will remove. Then under here, you go straight back. You can see the line, straight back. We're taking the whole front of this fender off. So very simple. We are taking the entire front of the fender off, so it looks just like that. Now once the fender is chopped, that very simple, that came off in literally 1 minute. You see we're left just that tab holding that front fender on there. That's just so we can get a good alignment on the fenders when you put them together. You can chop that tab off later, whatever you want to do, but now let's get on to notching the top and taking that top section off. So I'm going to start over here, come straight down and then go forward. Once you cut it all the way around, and be careful up here not to lose control and break your windshield. You got to have a lot of patience with that saw. If not, take this fender off the truck and cut this area first. Okay, now that we have it cut all the way across, we can get all that from the top. There's a little bracket on the back side right here that's going to hold this top piece still on. You can fold the fender up, bend it over and trim it, or you can take the fender off and trim it from the back side. Whatever you want to do, but simply unbolt it, and then you can get this top panel right off. This is the bracket on the inside there. You can trim it just wherever, because that still allows you to bolt the fender on from the truck over here. There's a bolt hole on this tab. Anything above that tab you can chop off. So you can see you can remove this whole top panel, and then this is what we're going to be left with. Now let me show you what it's going to look like. You can push the fender in and out and bolt it on with that tab still. So now when you go to put the fender back on, you can use all the factory bolts down there, and we are going to now use the upper fender to mount to our new brackets. So now you trimmed off the top piece and the front. There's only one more little small piece to trim, and then the fender's pretty much all set, ready for you to mate the two together. Let's go over this real quick and show you what we got. So we have the 1.5 forward, and down to about 1 inch above the line. You can see the inner bracket here. So you can trim that anywhere you want to trim it up in this area. It doesn't matter, it's going to get covered. It doesn't matter, but we put the bolt back in here, so now this fender's on the truck tight. Comes straight across, obviously, 1 inch above this body line, all the way up. This is just temporary so you can build the fender. If you want to chop that off afterwards, you can. We removed the whole front here, very simple. And the only other additional thing you need to do, I'll show you coming down here like this, straight across. We leave this little piece of tab under here like this, so it's straight up. So it'll come down and in and straight down. And the only other addition is in this corner right here, where it goes under the truck and to the side of the truck, which we're going to show you right here. This area here we notch out. So right at the very bottom where it goes across, we're taking this piece out, which you can see here is probably the size of my finger, about 1 inch in. So it's about 3/4 inches wide, and it goes back about 1 inch. The reason we do that is now it comes back to this aluminum fender over here. We trim just the outside off and we leave the rear bracket in place. This is the rear bracket. This is the rear support of the fender. This is all the rear support of the fender. This is not the outside sheet metal. So when the fender's flipped over, you can see this thick support. This support right here in this corner is going to slide into that slot on the fender. And that's what's going to hold it into place to start with. So let me put you back on the stand and clip the fender into place so you can see that. So now all you got to do to assemble this is your inner support. It's going to go right in this corner where we made this groove. You simply slide it in that groove that you made. Look at that. Just like that. One hand. Slide it in. Make sure the black fender is on top of your original fender. And roll it back. Lift up and roll it back. And now the fender's actually sitting in place. It's that easy. So now you can adjust the fender wherever you want for height. And you can pretty much adjust. It's pretty much going to stay where it is for front and back. But you can adjust it for different heights. And we're going to show you how to install our bracket on the back side to get your height here. Very simple. That's all the trimming on the fender that you need to do for your rough cut. Then at this point forward, if you want to trim something a little more, or you want to change something, or whatever you want to do in this back area, you can do whatever you want. But you can lift this fender up, wiggle it around, lift it up, roll it around, get your body line in a different spot up here. You can push down this back corner when you want to try to glue it or whatever you want to do. You can push the fender down and attach it to this piece. So we have plenty of metal to bond it to there and plenty of metal to bond it to there. If you want to raise this line up a little bit because you want to change the way you want to do personally the body work you want to do, you can do anything you want. If you want to raise this up and cut another ½ inch off the whole thing and you think it to be better body work that way, you can do whatever. But on the front here, it is going to overlay. So you want to eventually bond this together, smooth the aluminum down, and then just fill this small area here, and then you'll fill right above the body line there. So this body line on the truck will always stay the same front to back because you're not touching that body line. So however you want to work the body line above it, this area here, whatever you want to do, that's completely up to the person who's doing the body work. However you want to do it, that's your call. But you can see just by clipping it into place that the fender stays pretty much where it needs to be. So the next step is go into our install video. We need to install the hood hinge, the lower base hood hinge, and we need to install the upper fender support, the new upper fender support. So this will allow, in these 3 nut certs, 1, 2, 3, you allow to bolt the aluminum fender on. So you can see right here I drew a line. So I test fit this up, and this, from what I gave you with templates and everywhere we trimmed, this is the overlap we have right here. So the black fender will be sitting on top of this much. So if you wanted to take a little more meat off of this, or if you want to take a little bit more off the aluminum fender, you can see you have all this room to glue to. All this room down here and all the way up. That's how strong this fender will be on. I ended up coming back and taking another 3/4 inches off the black fender. This way it pushed it back. Every individual install is going to be different, but I'm getting you in the ballpark of where to cut everything to get it into place. Now let me put you on the stand and I'm going to pop the fender in for the last time and just show you how it lines up. Okay, like I said, I came back and I chopped another 3/4 inches off the back of this. I thought for my install it was a little bit better, but this is how easy this fender will go in. Again, here's your inner support is going to go in this groove you cut here. Simply line it up, roll the fender up and forward. You can grab it from the bottom, push up. Make sure the fender's on top of your steel fender, the black fender, the aluminum fender is on top of your original steel fender. Roll it forward and up. You're already sitting in place. You line your fender up, real simple. Grab another bolt. I don't know where the bolts went. Simply pull the fender up and into place and slide your bolt in. Get it in the back, lift it up, slide it over. Start all 3 of your top bolts. snug those up. And that's it. That's how strong that fender is with no glue, no rivets, no supports. It's connected down here, overlaid on top. Now you can see we got about 3/4 of an inch here for you to glue it to. You can push this around, you can bend this up as you go to put it together. And then the lower fender you can roll in and out wherever you're going to need it once it's glued. You do your little bit of body work in this area here. So if you want to come back and you want to raise this line up so you have a different kind of, the amount of body work you're going to do, you can raise this up as long as you just draw a line, see where you are, and then see how much meat you have left. You could probably go up another 1/4 on this all the way down. This is going to overlap each other. So once you glue this all together, you can grind this aluminum fender down because it's double layered with that aluminum bracket in the back. And then you can just do your light little body work in this area here. So if you look at that right now, you can see, let's get you up to stand here. You can see all the body work really that you need to do is in that line. This whole fender down here is all original. And then up here is all brand new too. All you need is to do in this body line, the body work, and this little area right here. Just need to feather that in. And then that's it. That's all there is to it. Oh, let me show you the top. So it's bolted together up here onto the bracket, just like the other side. This fender is finished. Body work is just in this area here and then in that seam. So that's how you can minimize the body work. So you don't need to be a professional to do a great job, but if you want to send it to a body man, I understand that too. Again, here we are. Let's see. You can't really see the fender inside, but you clip together the metal and the aluminums together in this area right here. And now on the excursions and so on, you don't need to change the quarters, and on the trucks you don't need to buy newer beds for the guys that have good beds, because you can see all your body lines are still perfect. And all you need is the body work in that little area. So the guys that are doing rear quarters on excursions and so on, that is way more work to cut this out and to put a whole patch panel in here and then do the body work basically from there all the way back, the entire truck you bondoing up and smoothing out to get that, when all you need to do is this little line. So at this point you probably could rivet it together with aluminum rivets. And then let me get you the 3M bond. The 3M bond is right here. The part number's off of it. So here is your 3M bond right here. Here is your part number. 08115. It mixes together with the stick they supply. It's under the thing in the back here. It mixes together, and this is how 90% of all vehicles now come, is 3M bond together. A lot of vehicles aren't even welded anymore. They're all epoxied together. So that's the fender video. Very simple. Drill it and rivet it wherever. You got plenty of meat to drill and rivet wherever, but first, however you want to mock this up, you can, once you mock it up and you rivet it together, you can take the fender on and off the truck a few times. You can see if it fits, but once you rivet it together, I would do the rest of the assembly of the truck, get all the grill, the hood, and everything else on, and make sure that fender's exactly where you want it. And then you come back and you drill out the rivets, 3M bond it together, re-rivet it, and then you come and you take all the rivet heads off, and then you feather and smooth all the aluminum down to the steel, and then you just do your little bit of body work and you're done. So it's not that complicated of a job. It's not that hard. It's not that intimidating.